I might rant more later, but yeah.
The Mad Libs data.
Like, branching off of what Kara said, branching and blooming, like I always do. I think that that concept also applies to a lot of things like alcohol. Like here in the U.S., we put the age limit at 21, and we know that people break it all the time. But like, that means the moment you turn 21, you're gonna go out to a bar and get so wasted you won't even remember that you're 21. And so, like, I think that defeats the purpose of locking it away for so long. And you can see the effectiveness of like not having that kind of like restriction, because in countries like in Europe, even though yes, there are always young, like stupid young people in every country. In any place you go, there will be stupid young people, but you see that in general, the respect and like the maturity that there is for things like alcohol and like drugs and stuff like that, there's a lot more maturity about it than there is here. Because when I go like out with friends, and when I go to Italy, a lot of people will have like a can or a bottle of beer, but they will split it with someone, and they will not get anywhere past that half bottle of beer. But if you were here, if you get one bottle of beer, you're gonna go and get another one, and you're gonna have 5 after before you know it. So I think those kind of restrictions apply to everything, and sex, stuff like that. It's just gonna provoke abuse of it in the future.
I have a comment about sex, actually. But being someone who knows not a little bit about that, having done an entire speech on it. Well, first off, if you look at those states that put a higher emphasis on it, the states that do abstinence, especially like the really conservative areas of, say, Texas, those are the ones that have the highest teen pregnancy and STD rate there. Just because they really don't tell people about it. And I think there's a statistic on, I think it's like American Psychological Society, that 60% of people who pledge virginity in middle or high school end up breaking those vows in college. So it's just kind of something that happens. But I guess kind of on another note, I feel like kind of branching off, like when we make it like this really big thing, kind of like when we build, I think it's like anything, or when you build it up so much, it kind of is just like not going to really, I want to say meet your expectations, but most of the time the first time it's not supposed to be fun. It's just awkward. Everything, I'm not saying from experience, no problem, but you know what I mean, like, I don't know, I just don't think it's a positive thing if you build up anything like that.
You pour out the water and it spills everywhere. And
But if you like, if you like start talking about the water, like it's so cool and stuff like that, and then it's like, oh, it's just water.
Say that this on first
Not
kiss and
Kool-Aid.
then do like,
It's not Kool-Aid, yeah, exactly.
yeah, I know. I mean, like,
weird.
why do people consider this fun? I don't understand.
What Francesca said about drinking, going on another note, sort of towards the middle, not one extreme or the other. If when parents let their kids drink and let their kids have, a few drinks every now and then, I don't feel like that discourages it that much either. I mean, they get the taste of aforementioned water, but a lot of times they go to one extreme. I feel like it's never just going to be it's just water, and sometimes it's never going to be this is the greatest thing ever invented. I think I completely screwed that sentence up. Okay, someone else talk.
So you're saying that your bowl is either going to be like bone dry or overflowing? That's really hard to keep it moderately filled to diligently pour in some
your
water.
parents are like eye-dropping, eye-dropping water in your bowl if they're
Which is what you get.
Not your sex bowl, your alcohol bowl.
You have a type bottle.
Not your sex bowl, your alcohol bowl.
I have my pot line and I'm on just putting that out there.
Do we have to have bowls for everything now? Do we have to have like bowls for?
we can have sex.
Stretch that like toss in a plastic bag.
Here's my pop bag.
Going back to tyranny,
I think that, though we may say that purity is a big thing and we shouldn't, make it just a big thing, at the same time, I feel like we should see it as a bit of a sacred sort of thing, because, I don't know, like, it takes some willpower to keep celibate for a while, and I think we should respect that. And, if you make the decision to stay celibate for a while or not have sex until, you're more responsible, I think that should be honored.
And well, first, and like with the stats that Robin was providing, I don't know how particularly illustrative they are, right? If 60% of people who take virginity vows end up breaking them, there's no control group in that study. Like 60% who take virginity vows break them, like versus the general college population sex rate. I don't know. I'm not saying necessarily that necessarily makes virginity vows a good or a bad thing, but I don't know how illustrative those kinds of statistics are. And I think it's actually, like Abby was saying, it's within, religions are ultimately like a form of group membership, and whether or not, whatever degree they claim to take their beliefs from a text, there's always going to be some level of interpretation. So for religions to make virginity sacred, I think we're almost focusing too much on virginity, because religions take a lot of other things and make them sacred as well. Most religions make virginity sacred, a lot of religions have sacred animals, a lot of religions have sacred procedures. So the function of religion is to make things sacred. So if, as part of its group membership, religion takes virginity and drags it into the sacred zone, that's something that religion, by the nature of religion, does.
Okay. So you're saying the sacredness of purity. What about the sacredness of the sex act, of sexual intercourse? Like
Da Vinci Code.
Huh. The orgy
people,
scene?
the people in the Da Vinci, that sex.
Yes, exactly. But I think as much as staying pure is its own sacred thing, most religions that have that then also make, the converse of having sex sacred in its own way, in a different way. So what do you think of that? I don't know any thoughts. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying there. You're saying like they were taking sex and making it sacred, but also taking purity and making it sacred. So it's having sex be sacred, like saving it. Yeah, I know Melon's.
Under certain conditions,
Right.
pure, for example, Christianity, purity before marriage is sacred, but after marriage, they say that, sex with God and spouse.
Has ever.
With God's approval in your marriage is then sacred, That as a marriage is, it's sanctioning your relationship with God or whatever.
Wow, I just realized marriage is God's go-ahead.
So putting the ice in your bowl.
Or he's giving you a final condition you don't still.
I'm not really putting this in any certain religion context, and I suppose, I don't know exactly what is considered sacred in Christian religion, be it celibacy or sex in marriage. So I think it's more, I think it would make the most sense that the act of having sex is sacred, and by abstaining when you're not ready, it's respecting that sacredness.